Okay, Suhasini, can you tell us something about yourself?
Sir. Good morning, sir. Myself, Nagasuhasini. Currently, I am working as a test engineer for TCS from 2018 to till now, sir. And I have three plus years of experience, both in manual and automation. Manual, I have 2 years experience, and in automation, I have 1 year experience. And coming to my academics, I completed my master's in computer science from JNT University and BTech from Andhra University. Coming to my project details, currently I am working in Cox and Cox application. My application name is Cox and Cox. In that, it is a UK based application. It is a e-commerce type of application, which is a B2C type of application. In this application, we mainly focus on purchasing all the household where sorry sir, all we will purchase all the interior, exterior, and furnitures we provide, and with the latest designs and everything with the retail price. So in this application, we mainly focus on the household furnitures only, sir.
Okay, okay. And how many total years of experience you have in software testing?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, fine. Okay, let me share my screen. I want to showcase. Yeah. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Now this is a Java expression over here.
Okay.
Okay. And the X value is 3, Y value is 5, Z value is 10. Okay. Now this is the expression. So what would be the final? So you have to evaluate this thing, and you need to tell me the answer. So there are 4 options for this. One is 24, 23, 20, or 25. Which is the right answer? You can use your notepad and pen. Yes, yes, Suhasini.
Yeah, I'm also already using some. First one. 11. Yes. $25, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the right answer. It would be 25. Okay, now moving to next question. Over here, you can see this program that is written, and the integer count is equal to 1. Now they have applied this while loop, and now they want to check what would be the output of this program. Okay, so you have to evaluate this expression and tell me which of these 4 options is true. Whether it would be 15 times asterisk or 15 times plus sign, 8 times asterisk and 7 times plus sign, or both will print only once. Do you want me to help you out?
Yes, sir. In 15, 7 times star will be printing, and remaining plus will printing.
So you mean to say this answer?
The first
Answer.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? Okay. So I'll
Not first, sir. The third one, sir.
Third one is the right answer. You're absolutely right. So over here you can see the count value we are incrementing by 1 every time. Now,
yes, sir.
So
first
count,
this condition is false.
right.
At that time it will be printing. Next time 2 modulo 2 equal to 1. So again this will be printing.
Right.
Any odd occurrences it will be printing. Even occurrences this will be printing.
Perfect. So for 8 times the star will be printed. For odd and even, like so for 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, those values will be coming. And then in the next counter 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, those values will be coming. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so now let's move to the automation questions. So what is Apache POI in Selenium? You had mentioned in your CV, right, about Apache POI. So
Yes,
what
sir.
is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Apache POI is a Java API, which is used to integrate implementing data-driven framework in our applications.
Mm-hmm.
It is a Apache POI,
Right.
Java API, which is used to reading data from Excel sheet, reading or writing data from Excel sheet into our test scripts.
Right. So this is a good answer. Apart from this, you can also add a couple of points in this, that it gives an API to manipulate the Microsoft documents like XLS and the XLSX.
XLSX.
Yeah, both the XLS and the XLSX also. And then the Excel point that you were telling, so you can tell CRUD operations like basically create, modify, read, write, or in the Excel file. Those all operations you can do, right? 4 operations are there: create, modify, read, and write. Okay, now what is the precondition? What is the prerequisite if you want to write data from Excel in using Selenium? So there is some prerequisite or precondition. Are you aware about that? Within the Excel file itself, you have to do some changes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you want to write data from our test scripts to Excel file, first you have to either the file, you have to open the file either in a input mode or output mode. Next, you have to read workbook. In that worksheet name, you have to read. Then only you can either write or reading operations can be performed on particular Excel sheet.
Okay. What if the Excel file is open when the automation is running? Before itself, let's say I am running automation, but before itself someone has opened the Excel file by mistake. So then would it run or would it fail?
Yes, first we will check whether that is in open state or closed state. If it is open, you have to close and open it, and you can do your operations.
Fine. Yeah, absolutely. So basically at the initial stage, we'll have to keep some if condition that the file from which we are reading the data, is it open? If it is open, we need to close it, the Excel file, and then we need to execute the script. Also, there is one more option of format cells in the Excel file. Under, I think, number tab option, it is there. And in that, you'll have to select text. By default, it is selected as general over there. So you need to make it as a number because you have to take the data from the Excel file, right? So that is also one kind of prerequisite. Okay. Now, how can we read multiple data from Excel using POI? Like what object you will get, you will be creating. On that lines, I'm expecting the answer.
Multiple data based on rows and columns. The first row contains multiple, if it is a login functionality, username and password. At that time, the first row, the column index, based on the indexes, you have to read and write.
Right.
Based on the indexes. You have to calculate row index and column index. Based on that, it is a first row, first column. the first row is 0 and first column 0. The second first row 0 and second row 0 1. In this way, you have to read multiple data into our Excel sheets and vice versa.
Right. Okay. Now you might be aware about STLC, right? Software testing life cycle. So in which case of STLC we are writing test cases? In which particular phase? Yeah, I'm repeating the question. In which?
Yeah, I got it. I got it, sir. So SDLC having many phases, sir. First phase is requirement analysis. After the requirement has to be analyzed, discuss with BA something else. After that, you have to prepare test plan. Once the preparing test plan, you have to prepare the test scenarios.
Right.
Based on the test scenarios, you have to write the test cases.
Right. So after which particular phase of STLC you'll start writing test cases?
Third, sir. As a test engineer, first requirement analysis, next test scenarios, and test cases. The test plan is done by our team lead.
Right. So once the test planning is done, then you will actually start the test case development. Okay. So after test planning, the testing team or the test engineers will start writing the detailed test cases. Okay, and in this also in this phase you will also create the test data for testing. Okay. Now let's say if you have to test a feature of a login, so which are all the test data, alphanumeric, special characters, so those all test data would be created in this phase. Okay, now consider a feature is there of upload a file. Okay, now can you tell us the high level test scenarios, positive as well as negative? How will you test that feature?
To upload a file, first you have to check the file size and the file format. If you want to upload on internet, you have to check the internet connection. These are the high level testable scenarios, sir.
Right. So apart from this, you can also add test scenarios for a file with Japanese characters or Chinese characters. Then let's say if a file is not having any content, it's a 0 KB file. Then what would happen? In the negative testing, you can add test scenarios like you are uploading a file of let's say 1 GB, almost 400 to 500 MB got uploaded and then the internet got disconnected. Or let's say you were accessing that particular functionality within the RDP and you have connected VPN. Now that VPN got disconnected and then what happens within the RDP? It should work fine because actually the machine within the RDP is working. It is just that your connection has got it. Okay. Then apart from this, one more test scenario can be that you have connected to the Wi-Fi and now you are trying to upload a file. Or you have connected to a mobile hotspot and now you are trying to upload a file. Or you have connected to some other mobile which is in your neighboring home or which is in the opposite home or maybe at some distance away from your office. So what would happen? So these are all the various test scenarios you can test.
Okay. In these cases, the negative scenarios. In meanwhile, if the power gone, in the meanwhile, some interrupt is occurred. It is a negative test case.
Perfect. Okay. Now, can you give me the difference between the regression testing and retesting?
Regression and retesting. So retesting is checking again and again whether the particular bug is fixed or not. But regression testing, after retesting or adding any new functionality or any updates are available to a particular application, whether the previously working functionality is working or not. You have to check all the functionality is called regression testing.
Right.
In regression testing, you have to check the current retesting, including retesting, the already existing functionality also you have to check. This is called regression testing.
Okay. Now consider a situation where you had one more member in your team. You two members were working on one of the test project. Now he or she has written the test cases of his story, and you have written the test cases of your story. Now he becomes sick and the release time is there. So your manager calls you and he tells you that you have to take care of his feature as well, feature testing as well. So what will be your approach? What will be your strategy in that case?
Yes, sir. In that scenario, first I will proceed with my work and I contact the person who is working with us in our team, and I want to know major functionality of that application, and I try to understand those written functionality, and I have to work on that also.
Right. Now, will you discard his or her test cases, or will you start writing? Will you start writing the test cases from your own? What will be your approach for test cases?
For writing test cases or executing test cases?
Yeah.
Only for writing testing.
Yeah. So what will be your approach? What will be your strategy? Will you write the test cases from the scratch and execute them, or will you take his or her test cases and execute them? What will you do with the test cases?
First, I will discuss with the person and try to understand what he or she written, and based on that I have to execute. If it is not completely not understandable by me, then I have to rewrite. Otherwise, I have to take the test cases and proceed with the further one only.
Okay, sounds good. So this is a good answer. Do not ever discard all the test cases that are written by your team member, because after all they would have understood the requirement, they would have been a part of the grooming, and they would have understood the stories acceptance criteria, and then they would have written the test cases. So these type of questions can be asked in an interview to you, like what will you do with the test cases? So you can tell, as you mentioned it very rightly, that I'll be using their test cases and I'll be trying to understand what are all things can be achieved from those set of test cases which are already maintained by them. Okay. Now over here, one more question can come, that they are absolutely sick. They won't be able to speak to you. Then you can tell, so you'll go with a mixed approach of executing the test cases and exploratory testing. You will be understanding the flow of the application as and when you will be doing the testing. Okay, so this.
Yeah, at that time also I will discuss with either a BA or developer, and regarding that one, and go with ad hoc testing, something else.
Right. Okay. Now, can you tell me about the test scenarios of a lift?
Lift. So, what is the lift capacity? The capacity of the lift, and
apart from that,
what is the waiting time when it opens, and when it is not completely closed, then what happened? When we are not clicking any buttons on that particular lift, what can be, what happened? If the weight beyond that capacity, if the number of people are entered into the lift beyond the capacity of the lift, then we will check what is the condition of that one. And if power gone
Mhm.
after closing the lift, then what will be happen?
Right. What are the other scenarios that are coming to your mind? Or do you want me to help you? Yes, that is also fine.
What is the material that is made up of and the floor that is used in a lift at the top or bottom?
Mm-hmm.
All switches are working fine and either lights, fans, and everything is working fine or not.
Mm-hmm. Anything else from your side, Suhasini? Okay. No issues at all. This is a mock interview, and I am over here to help you. Even if you don't know the answer of the question or you feel confused, feel free to let me know, and I'll help you out. Okay. Now this can be asked in a real-time interview as well. Okay. So first of all, the very first thing, you can start with the dimensions of the lift. So you'll verify the dimensions of the lift. Then you will verify the type of the door of the lift. Whether it is as per the specification. Then type of the metal that has been used in the interior of the lift and in the exterior of the lift. Then what is the capacity of the lift that you mentioned in terms of total weight, right? Then verify the buttons in the lift. Are those readable? Are like the floor buttons are there? Let's say 1, 2, 3. Are those numbers readable? Okay. Then verify lift moves to a particular floor as the particular button of the floor is clicked. Then it can be a scenario where the lift is getting stopped only on odd number of floors, or lift is getting stopped only on even number of floors. Okay, so it depends on the lift, but you can add into your test scenarios, because in the question I didn't mention whether it's an odd or it's an even, so you can add this scenario. Then verify the lift stops when up or down buttons at particular floor are pressed. Okay, then verify about the emergency, about the mishap if it is happens. So the officials contact details are there, and the proper the solution is being taken care from that perspective as well. Then you can verify in case of power failure also, lift does not free fall and it gets halted at the particular floor itself. Then verify the case in which the door is remaining open for some particular time duration. Okay, it should not be like for at some particular floor it closes in 5 seconds, at some particular floor it closes after 2 minutes. So there should be consistency in that as well. Okay, now verify the lights are there in the lift or not. Then
And
lift,
sunlights.
right, and then the air ventilation should be there within the lift, right? And in case of any power loss, there should be a backup available in the lift itself. Okay. So these are few of the test scenarios for lift. Okay. Now, are you aware about the agile methodology?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
in our application, we follow agile methodology.
Okay. So what actually do you do? How do you start your day? Can you please elaborate on those lines?
Yeah. In the starting of the day, we prepared one sprint meeting. In that sprint meeting, all the product owners and scrum master and testing team and development and everything should involved. It is a 2 to 4 week sprint plan. So in in that particular meeting, sprint planning meeting, our product owner has to fetch some of the test scenarios, which test scenarios you have to work out for the particular sprint. Based on that, our scrum master have to allocate the work throughout the team, either development team or testing team. And based on that, you have to proceed. And daily stand-up meetings also there, and after completion of sprint, we have to participate in sprint retrospective meeting, and everything should be all in presence of Scrum Master, taking care of all these meetings.
Okay. And have you attended retrospective meeting? Hello, Suhasini, have you attended?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So any point that you have added into the retrospective meeting which was taken care in the next sprint itself? Any contribution point that you added in the retrospective meeting that was added in the next sprint itself, that was taken care from the development team or the entire team side?
Yes, sir. In that particular sprint, whatever the functionality we didn't cover, that should be added to our next sprint. And also, what is the build that is developed for a particular sprint, that is checking by product owner and the client. If there any modifications are occurred, that also have to add new functionalities, also adding to the upcoming sprints.
Right. Or you can also add points like the build was not available at the time, or the stability of the build was not there. Regression issues were coming at the time of development of the new feature. So those points you can add. Or let's say in the new story, the acceptance criteria was not taken care properly. You have received the story, but only the positive or the happy path was working, and the negative testing was not working at all. So those kind of negative scenarios were not working, or volume testing scenarios were not working. So these kind of points you can tell in the interview, that while attending retrospective meeting, you laid out these points which were further taken care in the next sprint itself. Or you can ask about the unit test case coverage as well. So it was not up to the mark. Let's say if as per the initial sprint meeting, you had created one definition of done. And in definition of done, you had discussed that your unit test case coverage should be 60%. But for that particular story, which was delivered in that sprint to the QA team or to you, the unit test case coverage was only 45%. So it was not up to the mark, right? So you can tell all those points in the retrospective you highlighted, and which is why it was taken care in the next sprint itself. Okay. How do you keep yourself updated with the latest tools and technologies coming in the market?
We just follow some of the blogs which were coming in Facebook.
Okay.
That one only I follow. Regarding Selenium and everything, I have to follow. What is the latest versions available in the market and everything? Some of the blogs only I have to follow.
Right. So what is the latest thing that you have read about software testing in those blogs?
Selenium 4 recently released.
Yeah, definitely. So Selenium 4 is hot in the market. It has got released. And what is the difference between Selenium 3 and Selenium 4? Right. So you have read about it. Yeah. So you might take some time to recall.
I have just a
Okay. Okay. So these type of questions can come to you in the interview. And at that time, if you are very sure about the topic, tell that topic you have read. So this will be your, it will become very easy question for you. So you are aware about something, and the further interview, in the further interview round, those questions only would be asked to you. Now, the moment you try to be honest and you speak up about something, if you are not comfortable with, and then the interviewer will think, okay, she has read, but she's not able to answer the topic which she has read herself, right? So over here, you need to act smart and you need to take the interview in the direction that you are comfortable with. Okay. Like Selenium 3 versus Selenium 4 questions can be asked, or which are all the new things that got introduced in Selenium 4. All these things can be asked for this. You can also tell, you might be going, having a LinkedIn account as well. So in LinkedIn account also, you have got an opportunity to follow many people over there who are working in various MNC companies, having a lot of exposure, like a lot of experiences there. So once you follow them, you will also come to know about the latest tools and technologies that are getting introduced. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Suhasini, it was nice talking to you. Okay. Thank you so much for coming for the interview. Yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, which areas am I developing myself, sir? Is it okay? Am I updating anything?
Right. So what you
from
have to,
my side.
Yeah. So what you have to develop is the art of telling the test scenarios. Let's say if something is asked, let's say if you get a question on pen, chair, ATM machine, e-commerce website. So you have to tell the test scenarios on the fly. So it is not that easy to develop the test scenarios. But what approach you can take is first go with the happy path, like the positive flow of the application. Let's say if it's an e-commerce website, so what will happen? Login page will be there, forgot password will be there,
and search.
right? So those things, then searching the product into the cart, adding them to the cart, search options, filter options, then payment gateway options, email notifications. This is all the positive flow. Then you can cover up about the performance or the volume. Let's say you are trying to add multiple products, or you are trying to add using different browsers, compatibility testing scenarios. So Google Chrome is there, Firefox is there, IE is there. So whichever browsers are there, that you can cover. Then you can start about the negative test scenarios. So in this test scenarios kind of questions would be definitely asked to you in an interview. Okay, your Java is very good. You are able to answer both of those questions. Then your automation is also good, but you need to upgrade yourself in terms of manual testing. I am sure you have the knowledge, but it is just that you have to revisit those terminologies, those concepts, and then you will get a good grip on that as well.
Okay.
Okay, and overall it was very good. Okay, if anyone is looking for hiring an automation person or a Java person, so they'll select you, but you'll have to take care of the manual testing questions over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any
Thank
other question for me, Suhasini?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Have a
Thank you,
nice
sir.
day.
Thank you, sir. Nice.